Hello dear tea friends from around the world, and welcome to a new Tea Masters lesson with me, Stefan Erler, from the blog Tea Masters and the Tea-Masters, not Tea-Masters.com boutique. So welcome to this new installment. We have a very many subjects to discuss today. We'll see how to choose tea, then we'll brew a tea in a mug, and finally I'll give you some advice on the creativity process we have started last week, and in week 2 we'll see some new additional event. Okay, so let's start with how to select tea for brewing. It's decision time. My North American friends have been now through several days of indecision, and so I was thinking, in something a little bit related. Every day we have to choose not the leader of the free world, but the tea we are going to drink, and how are we going to? What are the steps, what are the ideas, what are the criteria to select the tea we are drinking every day. And I wanted to give you some of my criteria, some of my ideas, what are the best way to choose a tea that you are about to drink. Well, there are many elements that can help us to make the decision. First one is the season, the time of the year, the temperature outside. Do you want a tea that is going to cool you, or a tea that is going to warm you up? It's early November, but in Taiwan it's very warm outside. It's over 20 degrees, and in order to avoid sweating too much, I've even started my air conditioner again. So today I'm definitely going to choose a tea that is going to cool me down. So this could either be a green tea or a fresh, not roasted oolong. And for the purpose of this this class, announced right away, I'm going to use Sujichun oolong. It's the very first beginner tea in my selection, and the reason I'm choosing this is another reason. It's also it has to do how much time do you have to on your hand to prepare the tea. Are you in a hurry? Are you working at the same time? And also, do you have the right material, the right equipment to make a gongfu cha? Now, if you don't, if you only have mugs, like today I'm going to demonstrate, then you may not want to choose the best tea in your selection. Then you might want to use maybe a more common, a cheaper tea. And this is one of the reasons why I would choose my my Sujichun. Okay, let me see one thing. Yeah, today I want to make it possible for you to give me your questions. So if you have any questions, you may just share them, and I should be able to see them online. I will check from time to time. So we see season, how warm, time on our hand to choose more or less expensive tea. Then there's also sometimes your mood. If you are in a dark mood and you want to cultivate this darkness, maybe then a shopu, a very dark brew might be the right thing. If you are in a mood for something sweet, then maybe a more high oxidized tea like red tea or Oriental Beauty will be a better choice. Oh, it's really hot here. Then what kind of moods you have? Autumn mood would also bring us towards pu'er, or maybe it's towards white tea, because the leaves of the dry leaves of white tea are just like autumn leaves that have just dried, simply dried. So it could also be a nice fit for something more like fall colors. Well, so your mood, you might find some teas are full of energy, also like a gushu pu'er, full of energy. So if you need more energy, then you might think, oh, gushu will be good for this kind of mood. If you are in a more sleepy mood, then and you want it's close to go to bed, then you want to take a tea that has less caffeine, maybe a roasted oolong, or a tea that you have brewed several times already during the day, and you have waited for it to brew a light brew at the end of the day. What else? Yeah, so the time of the day will also give you a different mood. If you want to sleep, then you take less caffeine. If you want to wake up, you take a tea with more caffeine. Then there's another idea of drinking a tea on a special occasion. This is, of course, one of the time that you want the tea to be memorable. Maybe it's Christmas, it's your birthday, or it's a tea gathering with lots of tea friends, and this would not be the time to take out your cheapest, the most common tea, the one that everybody is drinking every day. No, this is the time you want to share a tea where you only have one portion left, and it would have been a waste to drink it alone. It's really these kind of teas that where you only have a few grams left, or it's really very precious tea, and you want to make this a memorable time. So this is the right time to share it with your other tea friends, or with your family, or with your kids on a very special occasion. Then comes also the question of budget. Tea is a pastime, is a hobby. Now, some of us may spend more money on it than most people, because if you are watching this video, probably means that you are very passionate about tea. So it's normal that we would spend more money on tea, where other people will spend more money on cars, on clothes, on bicycles, I don't know, on violins, if there are music players. Hello, I have lots of music friends also, so maybe this is also one of your other passion. But still, tea is there. It's okay to spend a little more, but tea should never break the bank, and we have to keep this always under control, never to make the passion take precedence over other priorities like food and shelter, or gifts for the kids. Tea still comes pretty much at the bottom in most of our priorities, so we have to be more conscious about how we spend money also on our tea. That's why I also wanted to show that even a very simple tea like Sujichun actually can be a very great tea on a normal day, on a normal occasion, and especially if you don't have so many good equipment to make your tea. But this being said, there's another thing that I wanted to mention that I've realized over the years is that, and it's something that a mistake that I've been making a lot. So maybe it also affects you, but I know it's something that I have a problem with sometimes. Is to postpone the good teas. We always think, oh, this tea is too good, I'm going to drink it on another day. Now today I'm going to drink the not so good teas. And if you start to have a larger stash of tea, of course, not if you are just beginner, you have 2 teas, then it's normal to drink all the both teas. But if you really start to have more teas than you can reasonably drink, it's not such a good idea only to pick the ones that are not so good and save up the good ones for a good occasion, for later stir. It's actually not going to help you with your tasting good teas and training your taste buds. But also, actually, life is fleeting. We see this with the COVID. A virus can come and take away people who are still in rather good health. So it's not so good to always wait and postpone the good. We have to enjoy life, and especially if you love tea is part of your life, then you have also to enjoy the good teas and not wait, always postpone and drink the not so good teas and think, oh, this tea I'm going to drink on a better occasion. Now it's not good enough. Well, sometimes if you have enough good teas, drink them. Don't wait for too long. Okay, I think Elton posted a comment. Try to see it. Where do I see it? Okay, thank you for agreeing with this. I'm really hot today. Apologize. I should maybe even make the air condition stronger. Well, you see, I'm also a bit talking too fast. This is me being nervous in front of the camera. I've been doing this now for many weeks, but since September now, weekly video, but continue to be nervous and to sweat. So let's move on to our tea demonstration. Did I say? Oh, yeah. I also had one more idea for the end. It's usually we drink tea on different occasions. Like many people will drink tea during their work time. I prefer to drink tea on its own as more like a pause, and that's why I make this nice chashi, a mandala where I create my own world where everything is useful or beautiful, and I can sit here and just make tea and just rest, relax, and be transported by the tea, by the fragrances, by the taste, be absorbed by paying attention to each detail in the movements of how I'm making the tea. So this is my way of relaxing during the day, making a pause. But I understand there are so many different ways of making tea. some will make tea on the go to drink in the car on their way to work. So everything is possible. But now there is one thing that that is a bit new to us is tea pairing. It's last year that I took these classes with T. Parker and his new book about tea pairing, and since then I've really enjoyed drinking tea while having my meal. Yeah, so actually you can pair breakfast, lunch or dinner, or all of the three with tea, and it's very interesting, and it adds a new way of enjoying tea. So in these settings, you are not going to brew tea as with as much detail, as much precision as in a Gongfu cha setting. It's also going to be a bit different than with a mug, but this will give you an idea. But especially you are going to think of the relationships between the food and the tea, and each time it's going to be like error and trial. It's a new adventure to see how is the tea that I'm choosing the right one for this meal or not. And so first it's a theory, you think you've chosen the good tea, and after you had your meal and the tea together, then you will know if this was a good pairing or not. Now I'm not going to make a tea pairing class now to which tea should be paired with which food. I've written about it in the past, and I will probably do another video later, but it's another way of enjoying tea, and where you have to think whether quickly or what tea to take. And it's best, like with wine, to know which kind of tea will pair well with which kind of food. If you have this theoretical knowledge, it's better than to just try by chance. Yeah, but this is also another exciting way of drinking quality tea with a quality meal, because if you find a good pairing, it's going to add to your experience, because the tea and the food, when they mingle, when they harmonize well, it's added pleasure in the palate, and it's really worth trying, I think. Okay, now let's show you how to make tea in a mug. The reason I came up with this subject is that actually this week I had 2 Zoom classes with philosophy students at Oxford in the UK, and so I had sent them 2 sets of teas, one set of 2 teas, let's say, the unroasted Sejichun and the roasted Sejichun. And during that class, we drank both, and most of these students, they did not have a Gaiwan, which I was using. Really, almost everybody only had a mug. And I say, okay, it's going to be a bit a challenge, but we can do also with only a mug, and I'll show you why, and I'll show you how we are going to brew in a mug. Now, which mug should we use? Now, this mug would be actually the best because it's so large. You'll see later on why it's important to be large, but it's not going to be so. It would almost be cheating because it's not a standard shape mug. So I take it away. Now we have these 2, which are a little bit more standard, Usually mugs are rather tall, so I will do it in one. Now I'll choose the most difficult one. And what I do, I preheat. So we preheat. And try to find, so here I'm using the saucer of my Guy 1 as a lid. Everybody has a little plate, little dessert plate that you can put on top. This is going to be your lid. I even see it's warming up. Now maybe you don't have these cups. I take two away, but I want to see the difference. But we keep a second mug. The second mug is going to be our mug to drink the tea. I get my Sujichun. Now I see my phone battery is quickly dying on me. Apparently I forgot to recharge it. So if the video feed stops all of a sudden, well, it will be a shorter class today. Apologize, but well, we'll have to do it. And so let me speed up the things. Okay, easy. We preheat now the other cup. My tea is just enough to cover the bottom of the mug. One layer. Water is ready. And I pour on the side it creates a whirl. It's turning. Okay, the leaves are still turning a little bit. And what I'm doing, I recommend you bring a spoon, and with a spoon, you turn so that the leaves turn. And now I'm going to empty my water. So the spoon is important because you see I've used it first to add some movement to the leaves. This will help them open up. Now I can look inside. I think it's almost ready. The leaves have opened up. And now the spoon is again important because it will help me to stop the leaves from coming out. Okay, I have a bit too much. Okay. Et voilà, that was easy. Now in order to drink a bit faster, for the tea to be ready faster, I can put it in this singing cup. It will be, and we can see that the leaves have opened up nicely. And we can keep the lid on to keep them warm. And now I have a full mug of Sujichun and my little cup here. It's floral, it's even a little bit creamy. It's spring, it's cooling me down. At last, some tea. And even a large portion of tea. So you see, this is also I'm already on the third subject, a creative way of making tea when you only have mugs and you want to make Gongfu cha, mugs and a cup. And actually you can make very good oolong tea like this. Don't need so much equipment. So I'm thanking these philosophy students in Oxford to giving me this idea of showing you to brew tea correctly, well, boiling water, preheating the mug, and then the spoon to turn the leaves. And this is very nice, very fresh, and naturally sweet. The leaves are whole, they are lightly oxidized. This Sujichun is a Dongpian harvest, which means it was harvested early mid-January 2020, so very fresh at a time when it was winter, very little sunshine during the day, just enough for the leaves to grow. They are a little bit small, but the nights are cool, so they have preserved lots of freshness. So it's really the best value in my selection. But actually, most of the students, they preferred the roasted version, probably because it's November and cold in the UK right now. So they all liked the roasted version better than this one. But the roasted version, of course, also has a bit more complexity and stronger fragrances because of the roast. But this one, you could almost pass it for a high mountain oolong, so because oxidation level is so light, and it's so sweet and cooling. Okay, now with let's move to our third part, the creativity coaching and the creativity process. Last week, I gave you the task of writing morning pages for 3 pages of morning pages every day. I hope you've done that. And for this week, there's another task, and this one, according to the book, The Artist's Way at Work. I remember Riding the Dragon, 12 Weeks of Creative Freedom. I'm basing my recommendations on this book that I followed 17 years ago. And so for this week, the new task is a bit twofold. One is to go out once a week for 1 hour on your own and do something that you really want to do. Explore a place, explore a museum or a park, or I don't know if you are, and this should be linked to your passion. Now for 1 week you have written morning pages and try to get in touch with your inner self. Maybe some ideas came out, and maybe now this week you focus on what you would like to do. If you were to play, if you want to do something more playful, more creative, what would it be? What is the first place you would like to go in Taipei? One of the best place would be the Gugong Museum, the National Palace Museum, with lots of artworks collected by the Chinese emperors. If you are really focused on art, but so it can be really anything. Think of where you would like to go and just go there on your own. So the idea is, when you want to learn to work hard, you also have to play hard. And it's really important to find this sense of play, this sense of doing something that you really want. Maybe it's going to a restaurant. Right now with lockdown it's more difficult, but just for 1 hour, do something that you maybe postponed, that you forgot you want to do, but something you really want to do. And the second thing is, in your morning pages, continue them. Important. First, you have to continue them every day, 3 pages. And after that, maybe start to think of what you wanted to be when you were young. Many of our blocks, mental blocks, come from childhood, or my parents always wanted me to do something that I did not want to do. So try to a bit go back in childhood mode and think of the blocks that you had, or remember what were the ideas that you had as a child and that you maybe did not do as an adult, and try to go back to your childhood and to find out what you really wanted to do at that time, especially if it's something you did not do later on, and maybe this is something that is holding back your creativity. This is one powerful idea. And so the other powerful idea for the going out is to do something different. We become less creative if we always do the same thing, if we always take the same road to go back and to go to school and to come back from school, or to go to work and come back from work, or to visit one relative and come back. You become more flexible with your mind if you start to do things differently. Like reorganizing the way you store your clothes or your food in your kitchen, or your clothes in your closets. If you always put your socks in the same place, you're not using your brain to find them. But if now you would to rearrange everything in your closet, everything in a different place, your mind would be much more maybe not yet creative, but challenged to think, oh, where did I put this? Where did I put that? When you are getting your clothes to get dressed. So this would be another small exercise, but it would maybe not be so much fun as to go outside, to go to a place that you wanted to go. Of course, there's a lockdown problem. I understand. So maybe you're in places where it's not possible to go outside. I hope it will be possible soon. But this is, anyways, recommendation in this second week of the creative process, to continue the morning pages and to do something playful and new 1 hour per week. And you saw maybe that I did this last Sunday. I came back with lots of very beautiful pictures from the Lynn garden. I went there on my own with some tea. It's something I've done before. So here's the idea, is to do something completely new. But I had not done it for a long time, and I really wanted to go. I came back with lots of beautiful pictures, and I still have more to post. So this is definitely a very good idea, and I recommend you try it. Okay, we have managed to finish the class before the battery died. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a good tea and a nice week. Next week I'll be on the road to find some new winter oolongs, and I hope I'll have some great news about some good teas that I will have found in the meantime. Thank you. See you next week. Bye bye.